Welcome to episode 580 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says
I play hockey and I fornicate because those are the two most fun things you can do in cold weather.
nice.
Yeah. A little something from Mystery Alaska for you there.
Mystery Alaska.
One of the great and underrated sports movies of all time, in my opinion. I love that movie.
See? It's
I
a good
do.
movie.
It is. Very good. So how are you, sir?
This cup I'm drinking out
I see that, yeah.
of. Fancy.
It is fun. Everything's fun. I'm a little nervous. Okay.
Because I'm having Blue Moon?
Yes.
I like Blue Moon.
This is the first time, like, you either have
Well, they didn't.
Mountain Dew or you have Budweiser. So you have veered off your normal
I
path.
don't really drink Mountain Dew anymore.
I know.
And
But
I was off plan today, so I was like,
yeah.
you
So-
Blue Moon.
Yeah, I just nervous. And there's fruit in your beer, which makes me even more nervous.
Dude, taste it.
No, I don't want none of
Orange is good.
that.
I think
Yeah.
the orange is the key to the Blue Moon.
I had it one time. I went down to the
I mean, normally, even without the orange, it's,
it was like I went down to Longhorn, me and Nancy, and they talked me into it. Like the waitress talked me into it. And like I didn't know anything about it. Like, okay, fine, I'll try it. I don't, try a new beer. And they brought me with an orange slice. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, that's what it comes with. You need the one. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm done.
Why? It's good.
I don't know.
It's good beer.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
Well, it's a good beer. It's a Belgian white beer.
Yeah.
Nice. It goes down smooth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always got it with orange slice. I like orange slices, so
Yeah.
why not my beer?
Ain't need to put nothing in your beer.
Changes it a bit.
Yeah.
But, like it gives it more of a citrusy flavor.
Right. The second you need to add something to a beer,
Oh, come on.
in my opinion.
There's all kinds of beers out there with all kinds of hops and everything else. I think this is pretty light.
In my opinion, the second you have to rim your glass with something or you have to add a fruit to your beer, like I'm immediately out. When I was a beer drinker, I was just like, yeah, no, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that's like, normal,
Yeah.
so. But I don't have to worry about it. I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you enjoy.
I know.
In your Han Solo glass.
Yeah, dude. I don't have any beer glasses. I noticed it. Like I'm looking around, and it's so rare that I drink beer out of a glass.
Yeah.
But I don't have, like I don't know if it's
A pint.
It's not really a pilsner. It's just, just a thick, heavy glass.
Yeah.
Of drink beer.
I ordered.
I don't have any of this.
I have 2 pint glasses from they've got Godzilla on them.
Yeah.
And I've been tempted to throw up a picture just to offend people. It filled with milk.
Nice.
So just to hear the anger, like, how dare you?
Right.
So
Anyway,
anyway,
I hiked Frick today.
wow.
About 6 miles of Frick.
Yeah.
And down in the woods and stuff.
Down there, Panther Hollow.
No, that's Shenley, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know.
I think that's Shenley. Frick's more toward the zoo, I think.
Okay.
Out that way.
Yeah.
Well, frickin'
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good, man. There's some good trails down there.
I'm sure.
It was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was nice. It was a good day. A lot of hiking.
Yeah.
But yeah, good day. Well, it's not too hot down there either.
Yeah.
because you're shaded all the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
When you do go in the sun, you feel like
Yeah.
Dracula, but
Yeah.
no, really, it's like you can feel the heat. But once you're down by the creek, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So there was this pretty graded incline I was going up for probably about 3/4 of a mile, and I got hot then. I start feeling it then.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because like, when I used to walk the Boston
Mm.
Trail,
Yeah.
like you'd hit a spot, like you'd go for a bit, you'd be like under shade, and all of a sudden you come out in like this open area, and you just like, oh my god, what is wrong? You know.
Right.
Then you'd find another shaded spot and be like, oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
yeah.
know what you
Once you
mean.
go off trail in the Boston Hall, it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you went off. Did you say you went off trail? Or
No, I just followed it along.
if you get on by going toward Port View that way.
See, I was going the other way.
See, if you get on the other way and go, you can go into Dead Man's Hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
And I mean, it's a little rocky and it's a trail, but I mean,
Right.
it's once you get under that undercover, it
Right. I used to
drops it a lot.
when I was a kid, Dead Man's Hollow was my playground. I would go there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just like, yeah, going. I mean, it was like we're Gen X. Like it was like yeah, don't come back until dinner
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock. Okay, great. Like I got my Casio. I'm like, yeah, we've got 6 hours. Let's go to Dead Man's Hollow. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you'd stop, you hit like go up to Little General or the Unimart, not and grab
Snacks.
some snacks and some Gatorade, and then you'd pop that in your bag, bike down to Dead Man's Hollow, and hang out. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was like my playground when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Hollow, yeah.
That's cool.
Like yeah, it's like all corporate now. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, corporate.
Well, like I mean, it got taken over. Like when I used to go down there, I mean, it was just like this, like just these trails. Like it wasn't even like managed. Now it's like managed by like I think Allegheny County actually manages it
Yeah.
and does upkeep on it and stuff like that.
Which is actually a good thing.
It is. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but it is like it's like that thing of like because it's managed by the county now, I feel like it's lost a little bit of the mystique. Because like when I was a kid, it was like this wild place where like
Yeah.
there were satanic rituals being performed and
Right.
all sorts of wackadoo shit. And meanwhile now it's like managed and operated by Allegheny County Rails and Trails. Yeah,
Nice.
like okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't imagine like satanic rituals taking place on county property now.
Well,
you know.
I don't think there was any satanic rituals going on.
No, I don't think so either. But like there was just this mystique of like what the place was. I mean, and the legends are still there, but it's like who built the troll bridge and like stuff like that. I was like it was like as a kid. And I'm saying kid, I'm talking like 12, 13, 14, 15, like in that range. Even older, like, but like it had that mystique of like there was a mystery about it. I mean, there was a time I got dared to go in. We had to walk 10 minutes into Dead Man's Hollow at night, and we were given. This is the dumbest thing. We were given toilet paper torches. They lasted all of about 30 seconds.
Right.
And it's me and Scott Jenkins.
Okay.
And we make our way in and we walk in for 10 minutes. So you're walking in for 10 minutes. That means you got 10 minutes to walk out. So you're 20 minutes in the hollow.
Right.
Plus the walk back, which like at that time on the Port View side, like John, Noel, Gary, I think Mike Back is like there were all these people in the car waiting for us at the end of the rails at the mill, and you had to walk past the mill on the railroad tracks,
Right.
past the train bridge, then up a little further ahead you got to the entrance to Dead Man's Hollow.
Right.
Well, so we go all the way in. We walk in for 10 minutes, turn around, come back, and it is pitch fucking black in there.
Yeah, well, it would be any now too.
Yeah, but I mean, like back, like at that, like,
Lights.
because like we went in at sundown. So it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock when we walked in.
Yeah.
So like even though like outside of the hall, it was still like kind of like daylight a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in there, it was pitch fucking black.
Yeah.
You know, and we kind of like go walking in. We walk into 10 minutes. We're walking back, and Scott's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "I didn't hear shit." He's like, "I think we're being followed." I'm like, "We're not being followed." And we start walking. So, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "I didn't hear shit." Shut up. If I hear something, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And Scott was just like, his paranoia is getting to me because he's like, we're being followed by a troll. I know we are. I'm like, there's no such a fucking thing as trolls. Like, who built the troll bridge? I don't know, but we're not being followed by a troll.
Right.
Or a dwarf or an elf or anything else.
A dwarf.
You know, if anything, we're probably being followed by a rabid raccoon.
Right.
Someone that drank some Yakigani water.
Right.
You know, and we're making our way, and I start hearing something like skittering, and I'm just like, oh, that can't be good. Who knows what the fuck that is?
Well,
Scott's
all
like,
kinds of animals.
yeah, but that's my point. Is like I'm like, but also I'm thinking maybe it's a hobo.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's a hobo who's gonna like stab me with a rusty penknife. You know,
Okay.
you had the encounter down there. I don't want to hear it from you.
I did.
You know, yeah,
Down by the river.
yeah. So, no, that's my thought process. Is we're being tracked by a hobo. You know, it's fucking Rutger Hauer and a hobo with a shotgun. And finally, we make our way out. And Scott's like, "We were followed. Get the fuck out of here." I don't know if we were followed or not.
Right.
You know, but
So I think we should be.
yeah. So that's the kind of shit. Like when I think of Dead Man Hollow, that's what I think of. Now it's like schedule your picnic party. I'm just like, what the fuck? You know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ah, Dead Man's Hollow.
Yeah. Good times.
I walk there often.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I walk there often. I like it there.
Yeah.
Mm. It goes deep too. I mean,
It does.
goes
It's
way
very
back in there.
yeah. You could go a good distance. Like
Oh yeah.
I we came out one time. And we came out in somebody's yard, and they're like, and we're looking like, where are we? They're like, you're in Elizabeth Township. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it goes way
Yeah.
back.
I gotta be home in 30 minutes. You know.
Right.
So
Oh man.
I'm surprised you haven't noticed the bobble on my left wrist.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're fancy.
Yeah, I got myself an Apple Watch. Oh, jeez.
Thought you oh, do cans.
You need a towel.
Oh. Sock fancy.
Yeah. So Nancy needed to upgrade her phone. Her phone's giving her problems.
Okay.
So I said, you know, let's go out and we'll get your phone upgraded. I didn't need to upgrade my phone. My phone still works great. I have no problems with it.
Right.
So like I was like, we'll just get yours upgraded and that'll be that.
Right.
So we go to the AT&T store and the woman there, she's going through and she's like, I'm like, we just need to upgrade her phone. Mine works fine. I probably don't need to upgrade mine for another year or two. Like, I have no problems with it.
Right.
And she convinces me.
Uh-uh.
Well, like, she was smart. She convinced me that by upgrading my phone, it's actually a savings because on the trade-in, I'm getting $700. If I do it next year, I'm probably only going to get like $400.
Okay.
So it's like, why would you throw away $300
Right.
if you can, and you haven't like I had an iPhone 12 and we're iPhone 12 Plus Max or Pro Max, whatever it was, and we were upgrading to the 15 Pro Max,
Okay.
or she was. So they convinced me to do it,
Okay.
and she looks. And Nancy's always had an Apple Watch. She
Okay.
bought it years ago. And the saleswoman asked Nancy, "Well, what series is that?" And she's like, "It's a Series 3."
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Well, it's not going to work on the new phone. Like it won't sync. The software is not compatible."
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, that happens. Like that's understandable. Like you have iPhones that like the software is not compatible.
Okay.
So like they said, well, that's fine. Like I wasn't planning on getting a new watch anyway. So if it's not going to work, it's not going to work.
Okay.
But then she convinces us we can upgrade our watches, and it's like mine would only be 99 cents.
Wow.
And I was like,
Okay.
get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, like your total by upgrading your both of your phones, her watch and your watch, your bill only increases by $30 a month
Okay.
with the trade in.
Okay.
I'm like, well, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you sold me. Like, I wasn't planning on trading my phone, but this makes the most sense. Plus, I get a fucking watch, which I never planned on owning.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah. I mean, that's like, there's a part of me that's like, fuck, I can't believe I fell for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's a part of me that's like, man, it makes the most sense, and
Have you messed with it? Have you learned to use it?
I've tinkered with it a little bit. I really got to sit down, like, because I've never done any research on the watch, because I never planned on owning one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's never been something I've like, man, I hope to someday have an Apple Watch.
Right. I know. I get it.
I've been more interested in getting an iPad than I have been in an Apple Watch. But so no, I've kind of got to sit down and like watch some videos about like the ins and outs of what the watch can do. Like I've tinkered with it a little bit. I got a feel for it, but like it's like what's the best thing the watch can do for me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Outside of like using it like a Fitbit, which the watch has told me I'm a lazy fuck. And it's also told me like today I was driving along. I mean, it was a beautiful day today. You were out, and I was doing my usual errand running, but I had all four windows down. I was jamming to some Night Ranger.
Nice.
Oh, it was glorious. People around me hated my guts.
Oh no.
Didn't care. Did not play Sister Christian. No, I skipped that.
Did you?
I did. I'm not. That's probably my least favorite Night Ranger song.
Really?
Yeah, but I get the thing vibrates, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I look, and it's the watch telling me you are in a very loud environment, and this could be detrimental to your hearing. I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, I know I'm in a very loud environment. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's funny, dude.
yeah, but it's definitely interesting, and like I've worn it all day today, and I wore it majority of the day yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and it's definitely
I'm getting used to it.
yeah. 'Cause I haven't wore a watch in years.
Yeah.
Like I used to be big on like having a nice timepiece.
What are you from the 1920s?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm dig having a nice timepiece.
I had somebody say that to me one time. I had somebody
Hey,
actually
the old Model T, Stella, and let's get got it.
I had a guy one time. I was helping him out, and this is when I was working at Dish, and I used to wear a watch when I was at Dish, and like he looked at my watch, he's like, "That is a really nice timepiece." And I was like, "Wow, thank you." So now I use it. That's not like that wasn't a watch. That was a timepiece. This is a watch. That was a timepiece.
When I was younger, I wore watches all the time. I had swatches. I had regular watches. I
Yeah.
had Timex. I had my first watch was an original Star Wars watch with the red, digital.
Yeah.
Um, but when I started scrubbing, I stopped wearing
Yeah.
watches really.
Which
And,
makes
and
sense.
I have a Samsung. I have a Samsung
Yeah.
watch, which I've been using more
Yeah.
because I can keep track of
Yeah.
the physical activity
Right.
part of it. That I like.
Right.
And I've talked on it too.
Yeah.
It picks up really well. But I don't, I can't text on it or anything like that. And it's
No.
too. I mean, I could read emails on. I could do everything like that, but I didn't go that deep down the rabbit hole with it. I
Right.
never really learned how to use it. Does that make sense? I
No,
mean,
it
I learned
does.
how to use it for the
Like
physical
the
activity.
very basic functionality of it is like what
Yeah, and
you and I know.
I can get from point A to point B, and I can
Yeah.
do the physical fitness part of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and it'll record how I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not an iWatch, but you know,
No, I get
people
that.
that
Yeah.
have iWatches like their iWatches. So
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on going Apple.
No,
and
I
and
understand
I
that.
think I think one of the reasons is because I'm 50 years old. I've never used Apple products.
Right.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm going into.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does
So
because
it
I'm the
doesn't
exact same
it
way.
doesn't make sense for me to make the jump.
Right. I'm the exact same way. That I've been using an iPhone for so long that jumping from an iPhone to an Android would be befuddling to me.
Detrimental to your health.
Yes, I would end up throwing it through a wall probably.
Right.
So and I understand like the basic functionality remains the same, but there are some massive differences in how they function. The I like and so I get that because to me it makes complete and total sense as to why I would not differ from an iPhone unless they dramatically changed how they worked.
Right.
Like I'll always have an iPhone, and it's not like a brand loyalty or anything. It's just I'm comfortable with the operating system, and learning a new operating system does not sound like fun to me.
I hear you. No, I know. I
Yeah,
get it. And people that use Apple don't either. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
people that use Apple, they use Apple.
yeah,
And a lot of places, especially high tech and stuff like that, they
right,
have Apple at work.
yeah,
I mean, it's probably, especially for music and probably engineer, all that kind of stuff. It's probably the superior product.
right,
But the layman's, you know what I mean?
right,
Like for the most part, when it comes to computers and stuff like that, it's
right,
Android or
right,
Google or
right. But I mean, like I've heard people who are deep into computer programming and stuff have talked about they prefer the Android because of the customization that it offers, the open platform as compared to the closed platform Apple has.
right.
Like they're so I, I mean they're similar enough that yes, I could probably navigate around and be able to look at Facebook and Twitter and all the shit I normally do, but at the same time, I'm just more comfortable with the operating system than I would be trying to learn something all new and trying to figure out how to set this up and that up and you know what I mean
Right.
like so so I understand your point about you'll never buy an Apple because you're so set with the operating system of what Android offers.
Right. Right.
That makes complete total sense to me because I'm the same way.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I know and
Yeah.
it's what I flip through. And, I'm just not comfortable with the system
Yeah.
because I've never used it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense.
And it's not like I have like an Apple. It's not like I have an iPad or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like I have an iPad or a computer that's Apple or iMac or whatever it is.
Right.
I've never used the system, so I don't know anything about it.
Right.
Now, if I had Apple stuff aside from my phone, then it would be a natural choice for me to go,
Right.
hey,
Right.
I could probably get by on an iPhone because I
Right.
completely understand the operating system and I
Right.
use it every day, and
Right.
so it makes sense. Actually, if I did work with Apple and stuff like that, I would probably get an iPhone
Right.
or an iWatch because it's completely compatible.
Right.
The nice thing I like about I'm sorry. The nice thing I like about Apple too is if you have an iPhone, the connection is better. If
Yeah,
you're going from iPhone to iPhone,
yeah,
it's much better.
right,
There's no delay. There's nothing. It's
yeah,
like instant.
yeah. Like it,
Pictures, anything you're trying to get between phones. But when you're going from an Android device to an Apple, there's some of a lag there. There's, you know what I mean?
well, I think the big thing was like they just sit the phones next to each other, and the phone will take all your information from your old phone. So like when I brought it, like so instead of having to download the Facebook app
right.
and sign into Facebook, it was already done for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's there were a couple things here and there I had to reset up. Like I had to like with the new phone I had to reconnect it via Bluetooth to my car.
Okay.
Um, a couple of things here and there I had to sign back into like Gmail. Gmail was a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
and YouTube because it was I guess because it's Google products on an Apple. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's just not gonna transfer over. Go fuck yourself. You figure it out. Like
Yeah.
something I had to have signed into for 4 years is like you know. So there was stuff like that, but overall, it was it was a very simple process of.
Do you like your phone? Do you find the screen big enough? And
I do, yeah,
do you?
I do.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with like the size of my phone. I mean, it's probably the same size as yours. You know,
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
yeah.
same.
Like, I think the big thing that like I'll say this, like the big thing that a lot of people go nuts over the difference between Apple and Android is the camera system.
Okay.
And Apple is far behind Android. They're far behind Samsung in the camera.
Right.
But I don't take enough pictures that I care. You know what I mean? Like that. The camera is one of the least important parts of the phone to me
Okay.
because I take pictures of my cat.
And the camera's not good on iPhones?
Supposedly, like I don't know, like if you talk to tech geeks, they will tell you that the Samsung in particular, I think
Google. Pixel.
Google the Google Pixel has like the best, but like they will tell you like the software for the phone or for the camera and the camera system itself is superior on an Android product, particularly Samsung or the Google Pixel, as compared to Apple. But
Yeah,
like
they
I said,
could.
like for me, for like the kind of pictures I take and the few that I take, because again, I'm not somebody who's like whipping out my phone and taking pictures all the time. The camera is fine for what I need it for.
I mean, I've heard that um, the Apple camera is actually pretty good. I've heard different.
Yeah,
I've heard that it's actually pretty good. Is
but
it
I
as good as the Pixel Pro? No, I don't
no,
think so. I don't think it is. Because I've heard rave reviews on the Pixel Pro.
yeah,
That it's a fantastic camera.
yeah,
But I mean, like you're looking at all the Android products and you're pinpointing. I mean, Samsung's is okay, but I mean, you're looking at all the products and there's this is a pretty decent camera
right.
here. You know what I mean? So, um,
But that's the smallest selling point to me, like the camera quality.
right. Well, to me, camera's important because I'm always taking pictures outside
Yeah,
in nature or whatever. And I have a
right.
Nord G10. I mean, like,
Yeah,
this is an old phone. I
right.
mean, it's not a great phone, but it takes good pictures. I have to admit that the
Yeah,
pictures that it does take is they're actually pretty good.
yeah,
Um, which is one of the selling points on this phone when I first got this phone, like,
right,
I don't know, 3 years ago.
right.
Um, they said the camera was excellent on this phone, so I got
Yeah.
it. So, all right, let's get off all this nerd stuff. Let's move on to
Well,
something else.
and this is the kind of shit we're supposed to talk about on a show like this.
Yeah,
Not
I guess you're right.
yeah. All right, so there was some exciting news this week. Exciting news I couldn't wait to share with you.
Okay.
So This week it was announced that Arthrocon sells out hotel room block in 12 minutes.
Oh, 12 minutes.
Yeah, so apparently,
What is it?
well, this year the event will run from July 4th through the 7th. So you might want to avoid downtown for the 4th of July this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, this is the quickest. Like apparently, so like it's a weird thing. Like they talk about. So apparently, officially, Arthrocon has a certain block of rooms that they actually sell to their conventioneers
Sure.
to as part of their package or whatever.
Priority.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently that's so it's 2,633 reservations, which results in 11,103 sold room nights.
Okay.
Okay. So, but they expect more than 14,000 attendees at the convention itself.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how much of that is like repeat business. So you went, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. But either way, they're expecting a large amount of people, which they do every year, and it does good business. And we've in the past we talked about the financial boon this has been for
Oh yeah.
the
Sure.
city and stuff like that. Um, but it is like that interesting thing of like this is like a premier event now in that community,
Right.
and it'll sell big. Like the fact that like their block of room, like they said, this is the quickest it's ever sold out in like 12 minutes is like really impressive to me.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad they have a place to call home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For their
Yeah.
convention.
Right.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, really. I mean, out of all the cities in the country.
Right. But it's that odd thing of like this is like their like the San Diego Comic Con of furry conventions.
Right.
Like I know they do others around the country. I've seen like wrestlers talk about like it seems like every time we go into it is a furry convention that week. But this is like the biggest of the big. Like it's a very odd thing, and
It
it's
is.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been here for quite some time.
Oh yeah. It has been.
Yeah.
Which is good. You know.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it's also funny because of your absolute phobia.
I do have somewhat of a phobia.
You do.
Although I did get a picture with one the other week.
Yeah, you sent me that, and I was just like, the look in your eye of like how badly you wanted to run away.
Of all the people that would see me, how I truly felt in that moment
Yeah,
was
yeah.
disgust.
Like you didn't want to touch it. Like you could tell, like you were like had your hands close to your body.
Yeah.
Like there was like no joy on your face.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, there wasn't joy.
Oh, it was hysterical.
The guy was like, "Thanks for taking a picture with me." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't want to know where the trap door is.
yeah." Tell me where the trap door is.
Yeah.
Keep the red rocket inside, bro.
Oh,
This is so weird. This is such a weird.
yeah.
I, we talked about that, right?
No, we didn't.
Oh, Pens. I went down to Pens the other week.
Okay.
Pens. It's in Southside.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, they have duck pin bowling, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
Real nice place. They do not serve food there, but they have like I don't know 4 bars. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice,
Yeah.
and you can order food
Right.
and have it brought in. Like
Right. You
we
DoorDash it.
yeah, we ordered pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought in the pizza.
Uh huh.
They have big tables, really wide open place.
Yeah.
And they have classic arcade games.
Yeah.
Great time.
Right.
Um, we have like ping pong and duck pen and bocce ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And it's nice and open, and the bocce ball's free, ping pong's free. Everything's pretty much free. Even some of the arcade games are free.
Yeah.
Pinball was not free. Duck pin, of course, is not free. Um, but what a fantastic place.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go down there on a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you'll
I
go
went
down there.
down there on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and I would go there during the week.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we had a great time down there. It was a really cool place.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But so we were down there playing duck pen, we're doing our thing, drinking a little bit,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, I started spotting furries,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what is happening? I was like, it's too early for the furry convention,
Yeah.
and it is. I know it was.
Yeah. Yeah. You have that time marked on your calendar.
Yeah, it's about mid-July or beginning of July. I mean,
Yeah.
I know when they come because I know it's hot as fuck when they come.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm keeping my distance, you know.
Of course.
See the fox in the background.
Yeah.
Fuck, stay away from the fox. Stay away from that critter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I'm playing joust or something, and you know, one comes up to me and starts playing a video game. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you even fucking see through that?
Yeah.
Man, so I guess there's a furry society, of course, here in Pittsburgh,
Right.
which would be normal, you know.
Right.
Um, and that's where they decided to meet that night after their convention or whatever.
Yeah. They're meeting.
They're meeting,
Yeah.
right? Turns out my kid's friends with one of them.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
which is fine, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And that person was not there, but that's where they decided to meet that night, you know, and like meet up after the meeting.
Right.
And I was just like, so yeah, I got the picture of it.
So here's what's amazing to me about that. Like that's
Right.
what you just described. Like I understand. Like okay, yeah, you have the society. You have you have a club that meets somewhere, and then like afterwards you decide, well, we're gonna let's go to pins, but let's all go in costume.
Right.
Like to me, like it would have been like, okay, let's strip. Like if you want to wear your little fox ears or your little tail hanging out here, like I understand that. But like the fact that you like decided like, well, let's all walk on over and in full costume and hang out there
Right. Right.
is like fascinating to me.
Yeah. Right.
Like wow,
Right.
because that's a bold move in my opinion.
What?
Like just like because who knows how far they had to like travel.
Right.
Like, was it like a block? Was it 2 blocks? Was it, you know, downtown and they walked across the bridge? Like, like there's a lot of questions I have at this point on like where this gathering took place and why and how they got. Like, did you get in your car with your fox head on
Right. Right.
and drive over like in
Ah!
like there are questions that I need answered at this point,
Right.
and it's like interesting to me.
Well, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea where they just showed up.
yeah,
And there was like a lot of them.
yeah,
And there were some people, like there was about 4 or 5 people in full costume,
yeah,
right? And there was about 10 or 15 others that were just had the ears and the tail on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
kind of shit. But it still like wigged me out a little bit. I was just
yeah,
I can't. I just
yeah,
like why would you wear it in there? You know? Not that it was hot in there. I mean it was not
right.
so cool.
But yeah, I get your, but like the whole thing is like,
Like they were in full out. I mean,
Like how
like
did they travel in full costume?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. How did you travel in full costume?
Like was there a party bus involved in that?
I did. I don't know.
That's funny.
But the people that were with them were like completely supportive of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's and I think that's what I respect. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
these people are with the folks and they're completely supportive of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know I have a problem with furries. I do.
But it's not. And just to clarify, this isn't a problem with furries. This is a problem with costumed mascots as a whole.
Yeah, like
Like
animals.
like Iceberg the penguin at a penguin game.
I'm okay with these.
Are you?
Yeah.
I know you do not like Rock the Panther,
I do not.
and let's not even talk about the Syracuse Orange.
No, it's the worst.
you know. So I mean, like there are like I'm surprised you just said you were okay with Iceberg because
I'm okay with Iceberg.
yeah,
You know, I'm okay with Kenny Kangaroo.
the pirate parrot. Yeah, it's on the yeah.
But I mean, like, I'm okay with the penguin because he just makes so many kids happy. I know the parrot does too, but I mean, like,
Let's go deep down the rabbit hole. The Philly Fanatic.
no, no, I don't.
And how about the one, whatever that thing is from for the Flyers, like Grimsby or I don't even know what the fuck it's called.
Yeah, and I don't like that Texas A&M fucking boy either.
Yeah,
He really bothers me. There's a lot of mascots that bother me.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Rock the Panther's fucking scary because it's not like Rock the Panther is just a guy in a fucking.
yeah,
That's like a poor man's suit. That's not like Texas A&M, you know, where it's like almost not inflated, but it's big. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like almost animated,
Right.
You know, not animated. I don't know what the word is.
Like the Nebraska Cornhusker, they have like the big one that's like blown up. That,
Yes,
yeah, that
Steely McBean.
Steely McBeam. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
rough one.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But Rock the Panther really bothers me. Just because I know there's a person under there.
yeah,
You can see their legs.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like I don't. There's just something about it. There's just I don't know. It all derives from Airwolf. I'm telling you, people, it
Yeah.
all derives from Airwolf. I saw that Airwolf episode with the Anubis heads, and I don't know where the fuck they were at. People were wearing Anubis heads. That just scared the living shit out of me. I
Yeah.
have nightmares over that, and I just cannot. I can't handle beast heads on people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, you put a fucking goat head on somebody, I would fucking die.
Like that was
I would fucking.
the one Steel City Con we went to. The guy was wearing the horse head. You had your eye on him at all. You knew where he was the whole time you were there.
Yeah, I can't handle
And I mean, there was the time we watched. What was it? The Scorpion King 2, and there was a Minotaur.
it.
You actually got up and left the room.
Yeah,
You were like, no, I can't deal with this.
no, I can't.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah, you were like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't do. I can't deal with those
Yeah.
people.
So, but the point I'm trying to make is, so it's not that you have a problem with the furries themselves. It's the costume mascot aspect of it that gives you the heebie-jeebies. Now, we do mock and ridicule because we know like there are children on parade day touching jizz-covered fur.
Oh, truth.
You know, but
Truth.
overall, you would have no problem with them as a subculture. Just
No, I have no problem with the organization. I have no
right,
problem with what they are doing.
right,
I don't.
right.
Really, I don't. That's not the.
We fully support Arthur Khan, but you do it from afar.
I do
Yeah,
because the masks,
yeah,
um, for some reason, scare the shit out of me.
yeah.
But I completely respect what they do.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
like
Live your life. Love is love. But at the same time.
right, and it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not a hatred thing for me.
Right.
I don't hate them.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a phobia of
Correct. A phobia is the
yeah.
perfect word. It is.
Yeah.
Perfect word.
Right. I just want to clarify that because I want people to be like, they fucking hate furries.
No, I do
And
not.
we don't. It's just he has a phobia of it, which I find amusing. I like to poke fun at in my own way. But the fact that you had that picture taken with one was like I laughed for 10 minutes looking at that picture
I just it's
because I knew why you did it. I can't say, but like it's like I knew why you had the picture taken, and it was just like, man.
yeah.
He mustered up all of his courage for this
I
one.
did. I mustered up every fucking piece
Yeah.
of me that I have inside of me to take that picture. And you can see it on my face.
You can. Oh, it's tremendous.
I'm just like, mm, yeah, this isn't.
Yeah.
It's not good right now.
Yeah.
I'm not in a good place.
Not at all. Not at all. So, so there's exciting news. You could expect 14,000 furries on 4th of July weekend.
Right.
I hope it doesn't affect your 4th of July plans.
No.
No. Because that's the interesting. Like usually they're not like they're there like the weekend before or after the 4th. This year, I guess it's 4th of July weekend, and I mean like 4th of July, like the 4th of July in Pittsburgh is a clusterfuck to begin with anyway.
Right.
Like I do not envy people getting into town and trying to get over by the convention center on the 4th of July. Like if there are any furries listening to this and you are coming to ArthurCon, you need to come in on the 3rd.
Right.
You know, like on all honesty, like that's you need to get here on Thursday because on Friday the 4th, downtown will be a cluster.
Yeah, it will be.
I mean, you'll get to see the greatest Zambelli fireworks show you've ever seen, but man, getting into town on the 4th, because like people show up at like 9 in the morning, 6 in the morning, to start like getting their spot for the fireworks.
Oh, I know.
You know,
That's crazy.
it is.
I mean, the fireworks are good and everything. Holy fuck.
Firing up the hibachi right up there on Mount Washington.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like a Steeler game.
it is. It's worse than a Steeler game though because I mean it screws up everything.
Yeah, it does.
And like and that's downtown. Like you want to talk like I don't know how it works in other places because I've never been anywhere else for the 4th of July.
Right.
But like every small town has a fireworks display on the 4th of July around here. Like there's some in McKeesport, there's some in West Mifflin, there's some in Monroeville, there's some in Greensburg. Like they're everywhere you go, somebody's having like I can literally stand on my porch and I can see 5 different fireworks displays around the hill.
Right.
Like it's just they're everywhere. So and I mean and so you get like a couple thousand people around Renzi Park and McKeesport. Wow, good luck getting out of that.
Right. Right.
That's just a
I've been there. I used to go there all the time.
yeah, that is a clusterfuck and a half.
Right.
You know, just anywhere. Like I mean, Kennywood has their fireworks, and it's a disaster of epic proportions trying to get out of there. Like so, it's that odd thing of like fireworks are big in this town.
It is.
Like you want to draw a crowd, you say you're having fireworks.
Right.
There are 2 things that'll sell out for a Pirates game: fireworks and bobbleheads.
Yeah, you're right. And people just flock for bobbleheads.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like the team will suck ass, but they will show up for a bobblehead and a fireworks night. And even better, you give me a fireworks night with like a washed up band that nobody's heard anything from for like 25 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I am there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how people are.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. You know, it's fireworks night with Foreigner.
I'm there, baby.
Yeah. I want to know what love is. They better play Jukebox Hero.
Hot blooded.
Oh, yeah.
That was for me. Yeah.
That was Foreigner, yeah. Yeah, so this town goes nuts for fire. Even though I will say this, I guess now anytime Paul Skeens will be pitching, they'll be selling out PNC Park as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Paul Skeens was their number 1 draft pick last year.
Okay.
He pitched at LSU.
All right.
He's had 2 starts.
All right.
And his average pitch speed is 100 miles an hour. He is just throwing gas. Yesterday against the Cubs in Wrigley Field, he struck out his first 7 batters by strikeout. Every strikeout was over 100 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And you match that with another guy, another rookie this year, Jared Jones, who also has a pitch speed of like 98 to 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Like they've got 2 flamethrowers.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're getting no decisions or losing games 1-0 because the bats are doing jack shit for them.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, like it's ridiculous. Like Paul Skeens is just mowing. Like he went six innings, 6 shutout innings, no hit, and they pulled him, which bummed me out because I wanted to see if he could get the no hitter. But they've got him on such a pitch count right now, and the way like they're managing when he pitches and how much he pitches, I understand why you're doing it, but at the same time, like, man, it couldn't have been easy to say, yeah, this guy's throwing nothing but gas. He's got 11 strikeouts, and yeah, we need to pull him because even though he's got a no hitter, I would not have wanted to make that decision.
Right.
I'm glad I wasn't at PNC Park. You know.
I've been to a baseball game this year.
I haven't been to a baseball game in 15 years. I refuse to go. I stopped going when they traded away like Jason Bay and Jack Wilson, like all those guys. They brought up McCutchen. I got to see McCutchen as a young player a couple of times, and I reached a point where I was just like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of watching them just rotate guys out and new guys in, and it's never going to be. They're never going to win anything, and you know,
right.
Like I was happy when they broke the 20 years of losing. I was happy when they went to the playoffs. I was happy when they beat Cincinnati in that wild card game.
Right.
You know, one of the greatest moments in Pirate baseball history is, you know, the Cueto chant getting to Johnny Cueto and he dropped the ball on the mound. I mean, that's brutal. And then he throws a duck up to Russell Martin who takes it deep. Like that. That's the only time I've ever really wished I was at a Pirate game because of all the years of misery I sat through. Like to be in that stadium at that moment would have been amazing.
Right.
Like, and I've been to some amazing moments. I've seen, you know, Pitt win on the last second against Virginia, a top-ranked Virginia Tech team. I've watched them upset West Virginia. I've watched, you know, the Steelers win Super Bowls, but I wasn't at the game. But you know,
right.
You watch. I was at the game where Ramon drained a 3 at the last second to beat West Virginia. I was, you know, um, the night Gibbs hit the half court shot to at the buzzer to win the game. Like stuff like I've been to some amazing moments that I've seen in sports. Even as much as he broke my heart later on, the night Sid Bream hit a home run and a meaningless home run off of the Pirates in a regular season game when his first time coming back to Three River Stadium as a Brave. That's a moment I'll never forget.
Right. I'm
But
sure.
but like that moment at PNC Park when Russell Martin went deep after Cueto dropped the ball. Like the only thing I can compare that to, like the way that crowd was game 1 of the 92 Stanley Cup Finals when Lemieux um it was like seconds left on the clock. The game was tied. Lemieux wins the draw, circles out, the puck comes to him and he just buries it to win the game.
Yeah.
And like the Civic Arena was shaking. Like the camera was shaking from the way that place exploded.
Yeah.
And that's like fuck, I would have loved to have just felt that.
Yeah.
Like I remember how I felt watching it on TV that night,
Yeah.
but like to be in the arena that night and feel that electricity, like that would have been amazing. And that's the same thing with that night with that playoff game against the Cincinnati Reds. Like that game,
Right.
like it was 20 years since the last time the Pirates had played a playoff game. And I mean, that place was blacked out. There was smoke in the air. The Jolly Rogers were flying. Like that was the most intense I've ever seen a baseball game.
Right.
And that crowd brought it that night, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know.
Love them. I love them Civic Arena playoff games.
Oh, I mean that game 1 against the Blackhawks when Lemieux buries that game winner with like seconds on the clock, like the way that place just exploded.
Yeah. It was louder at the arena too.
It was. I mean, honestly, it was because of the dome and the way, the fact that it was like stainless steel, the way it just bounced sound back.
Not only that too, but if you're away in the back, if you're on the wall
Yeah.
in the back,
Yeah.
you just pounded on that fucking.
Oh yeah.
And it just added to it.
Yeah.
I mean, people stomping, people fucking pounding on the thing. It was loud,
Yeah.
real loud. I mean, like really loud.
Yeah.
That place erupted.
But that was also again like they started off behind. I think they were down 3-0 at one point,
Yeah.
and they came back to tie it at 5 and win it with the 6th goal. And like it was like just that thing of like the way I'll never forget watching that on TV, and like they gave the wide shot and the camera was just bouncing from the noise.
Right.
Like there was no steadying that camera, but like it was amazing.
Oh, that Civic Arena was a good place.
It was. Like I understand why you had to tear it down.
No, I get it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that completely.
Right.
But it was a magical place.
It was.
It was. I like the new arena.
Yeah.
It's really nice, actually.
Well, that comes to an interesting question. I saw somebody talk about this because like Jacksonville is Jacksonville announced their plans to completely renovate their stadium, like with a canopy and all sorts of stuff. The Bills are building a new stadium. A couple other teams are building a new stadium. Acrisure Stadium is going to be, it's 23 years old right now.
Yeah.
Like Three River Stadium came down when it was 26.
Yeah.
Like, do you think the Steelers need to start thinking about a new stadium? I agree.
Minefield might go anywhere. Fine.
I agree. Like I think it probably needs some upgrades here and there.
Yeah.
But like to me, like here's the problem. This is what I'll say probably the biggest problem. When I go to a game, I am there to watch the game. I can give two shits about the amenities.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can care less about it. I'm here to watch the game I'm here to watch, whether it be a hockey game, a football game, or a baseball game. I like all the amenities that you give me, all the you know, here's the Bucko crew, and or here's Steely McBeam, or whatever other bullshit you're going to do.
Right.
I can care less about. I'm here for the game itself. But I am not the average person who goes to these games anymore, and they want some other experience from what I do. So to me, like AccuSure is fine because it allows me to do the thing I want to do, watch the game.
Yeah.
You know, do I wish the concourses were a little bit wider? Sure. Do I wish the lines to get a hot dog and a pop were a little bit shorter? Sure. But do I wish things moved a little faster? Absolutely. But I think overall the experience I'm looking for
Right.
is provided by just simply allowing me to watch the game.
I do not think they need a new stadium.
No.
Hey, it's fine how it is.
All right. So, did you see the Steelers schedule?
I did not.
All you need to know is this: the back half of their schedule, their bye is week 9, and the back half of their schedule, they play Cincinnati twice, Cleveland twice, the Ravens twice, and you throw in Philadelphia and you throw in Kansas City on Christmas Day.
Right.
That is the most brutal schedule I have ever seen. Like the last half of your season is nothing but divisional games. Oh, and here's Philadelphia and here's Kansas City. Just for shits and giggles.
Right. Right.
And you're playing the Ravens, and then 4 days later you're playing Kansas City. Luckily that's a home game, but still, you're playing Kansas City, the defending Super Bowl champions.
Right.
Nuts.
It's a tough schedule.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like schedule making cannot be easy.
Right.
Especially nowadays with like so many concerts and events taking place at like a lot of these domed stadiums, like in Las Vegas. I'm sure it can't be easy to schedule football games because of all the other shit that probably takes place in that stadium as far as like boxing matches and UFC fights, and there's probably a bunch of stuff that takes place there outside of just the Raider games.
Right.
Um, probably massive concerts are probably taking place there a lot. So it's like there's that, and then you throw in like all these other stadiums that probably have the same problem. Because like big concerts can say like, well, we can push Minnesota off until the winter because that's a dome stadium. If we want to get to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, we need to get there in the summer or the fall before it gets too cold.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it as well, I'm sure. So, but still, like that is just a brutal second half of the schedule, just because like you want distance between like division games.
Right.
Like you'd love to like play like all 3 of your division rivals like early in the first half of the season and again in the second half. But here it is just a baton death march of like
Right.
Here's the AFC North and Philadelphia and Kansas City. You're probably playing nothing but playoff teams the entire way through.
Right.
Or teams fighting for the playoffs.
No, I know. It's brutal.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
So yeah, you had that going on too. That was I watched that and it's like I thought like, man, I'm probably in the minority. I'm looking at this as a brutal second half, and like everybody came out and was like, somebody does not like the Steelers.
Right. Right.
Like, you better have your ducks in a row the first half of the season, because the second half of the season, you are going to get the shit kicked out of you.
Will be.
Well, but I mean, like, here's the thing. Cincinnati, as long as Joe Burrow's healthy, like, to me, they're the best team in the division.
Yeah.
The Ravens are not chumps, and even though I don't think the Browns are that good, they still play us tough.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They
You
play
know,
stuff.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not like you're going to go into a Cleveland game and it's, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a dogfight. It's the same thing with I mean, the Raven games are automatically, like, you just know, like, it takes days after a Ravens game to get right. And you don't get that time. You have
Yeah.
4 days,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, holy shit. And then you're playing Kansas City.
Right.
So it's like, what I think it's like 3 games in 11 days that they play. And that's a brutal schedule. But either way, I mean, it's I'm not looking forward to that. Like, the second half of this, like, you honestly have to sit there and hope. Like, you're sitting there with, like, you have to, like, go into, like, the second half of the season. You have to be like 6-2.
Yeah. You have to win those games.
Yeah, like, you honestly need to go, like, be set up for that second half, because that second half is going to be that's where, you find out, how good you really are, I guess.
Yeah. Truth.
So, one last little tidbit here.
All right.
So let me get at that. So Marvel has decided that they are going to slow down their pace going forward as far as releases of TV shows and movies. And, like, it's that thing of, like, why is Marvel not doing as well as it did pre Endgame?
Right. Okay.
And many people were pointing at it, saying it's overload. And that's maybe partially true. Like, I can't deny that.
Right.
Marvel was releasing like 3 to 4 movies a year, plus plus the TV shows. Um, I heard somebody say on Twitter, and I thought this was a valid point. It's not that the movies have been any worse.
Right.
It's just that Endgame set the bar too damn high. Like, and in a way that's right. Like, I mean, like, Endgame is like one of the best movies I've ever watched.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not even as a superhero movie. I mean, it is like, for the nerd in me, it is like, wow, that was amazing. Like, that's the best thing I've probably ever seen.
Right.
You know, but I also kind of point at, like, well, where have the failures kind of been? Well, I think they've been twofold. I think, one, they've come out the gate post Endgame, and if you take away Guardians of the Galaxy, and if you take away Spider-Man: No Way Home, they haven't, like, it's been like characters that, like, even like comic book fans are like, oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Right. Right.
Like the Eternals, like Shang-Chi, like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it hasn't been a bona fide, like the 3 movies that did well were Spider-Man, because that's a property like everybody knows at this point. There have been enough of those movies and you've seen the character enough that you know the character.
Right.
You know, you don't need to know Marvel to know the character. The Guardians of the Galaxy, same thing. And like Doctor Strange did, while it didn't do as well, it still did well.
Right.
You know, but like that was post Endgame or in post Infinity War where Doctor Strange played a big role. So people knew the character, but like I feel like it's just it's that odd thing of like maybe just maybe you've reached too far into the well.
Right.
You know, like the only movie like the Marvels didn't do well, and I feel like that was just nerd trolls refusing to go see the movie
Right.
because they're like, we don't like girls. Like, really? Why not? Because I do.
Nice.
You know, like we don't want girl superheroes. Okay, I'm sure that's how you think when you're enjoying those pictures of Rogue all bent over or whatever. You know, like what you nasty asses. But like that's how I felt it was. I thought it was just that movie just got trolled. Like Shang-Chi was a very good movie, but again, that's a character like you had to dig deep for.
Right.
The Eternals wasn't that bad, but you had to dig deep for it.
Right.
You know, and it suffered. It suffered the same as Madam Web did. I just watched Madam Web this week.
Oh, how was that?
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be,
Okay.
but it's still not good.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got at the end of it, I was just like, okay, like I'll never watch it again. Like, it's funny. It's like the same way I felt about both the Venom movies and Morbius. It's not as bad as people are saying it is, but it's still not good.
Okay.
Like I think there was some poor acting in it, and I thought they were trying way too hard to shoe in Spider-Man references.
Okay.
Like her partner, like you know, she's a paramedic, and her partner is Ben Parker.
Okay.
You know, his sister-in-law Mary, who's married to his brother Richard Parker, are having a baby boy,
Uh,
but you never hear the baby boy's name.
okay.
You know, like clearly this is Peter Parker. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like they were trying so hard to like, we're gonna fit this as much of this shit in as we can. This, like, I didn't think Dakota Johnson was very good in the movie. Like like the story made sense from a certain like if you like threw away like let's just watch it for what it is and the story makes sense, but at the same time it's like yeah I just think you know it's not as bad as people said.
Right. Right.
Still ain't good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it wasn't a flaming turd, but it was a turd.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to people.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's how I like the Eternals. I don't think the Eternals is as bad as people said.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. Now, the thing that's pissed me off is like all this time later, nobody's still talking about like the giant god that was coming out of the Indian Ocean.
Right.
You know, that's still there. That you know, why hasn't anybody addressed that shit? You know,
Right. Right.
but I don't know. What do I know? But there like I feel like Marvel's problem is and and like I feel like DC can run into this too very quickly. Is you can there is such thing as too deep into the well, and you start thinking to yourself, man, should this character really have a TV series or a movie?
Right. Right.
Like I think that way about like DC. Like I understand why they've gone back time and time again to Batman and Superman because they're iconic. You know them.
Right.
You know, you don't have to like give like every fucking movie has Batman's backstory and Superman's backstory. You don't need to really give it people know who the characters are for the most part.
Right.
Um, but there is that thing of like you start looking at like, wow, should like the Question ever have a movie? Well, God, no, he shouldn't. You know, there are characters I can look at in like the DC in the Justice League. I'm like, man, I don't know if they should ever be brought to the big screen, like, or even a TV show. Like,
Right.
you know, there are characters like that I would like if they announced it, I'd be like, I don't know about that. But at the same time, it's the same with Marvel. Like, but like I've done that. Like I question the decision making process of like, why are we doing Guardians of the Galaxy?
Right.
Well, it turned out that was one of the best decisions they ever made because those three movies are fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like so, but I do feel like maybe you need to reel it back a little bit,
Right.
find a way to get a little bit more closer to what people know
All right.
instead of just because it has Marvel's name on it doesn't mean we trust it anymore.
Right. Right. No.
Which in years gone by we did. Like, no matter how bad a movie was, like not that there were bad movies, but like, you know, people were talking about how good Thor movies were.
Yeah.
You know. So
No, I get that.
yeah. So it is that oddball thing of like, is there such a thing as too deep in the well?
Maybe. Maybe there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Like, I mean, if they ever decide to do the Clone Saga as a Spider-Man movie, like I'm sure that people are like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Like there is shit that it's like maybe that's a little too deep for like the non-hardcore fan. And
Right.
that's who you're really catering to when you're trying to make a movie like that.
Right.
Like, how do you make $1 billion? One has to be an event movie, and the event movie has to cater to the everyday person
Right.
who's not 20 movies deep into your mythology.
Right.
What makes comic books so daunting? Why do they constantly reboot them? Well, because 75 years of Batman mythos is hard to swallow.
Right. Yeah, I know. I hear
That's the thing. Like, I mean,
you.
like would like like if what is a character like as an example like a Spider-Man character if they brought it to the big screen like you'd be like, wow, I can't believe they went there.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like, is there one? Like I know
But
Spuddy's got a deep bench when it comes to villains, but like, is there a villain that you'd be like, wow, I can't believe they even thought about that?
I don't know because Spider-Man characters are so well known.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Craven's a deep dive. I
yeah,
feel.
yeah,
I know he's popular, but I mean, like, well, especially with today. But
right.
I think Craven's a deep dive if they go there.
Well, they're Sony's making a Craven movie, but like,
I know that.
yeah, but I'm
But
just like, I guess so. Like, if they were to like do a Spider-Man Craven movie, you'd be like
well,
surprised.
Sony's been kind of weird because they're doing like this thing where even Marvel involved. You know, they're kind of going. You know, Tom Hardy sitting at the bar.
Yeah,
All right, see the Spider-Man.
yeah,
This guy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And Craven's sort of the same thing.
right,
They're sure gonna throw Morbius. You know what I mean? Like it's very strange how they're doing it,
right,
how they're setting it up,
right.
and I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what they got up their sleeve.
I just wish Sony would just go ahead and say we are doing Miles Morales as our Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Marvel can have Peter Parker. Miles Morales is our guy,
yeah,
and build that Spider Verse around Miles Morales.
yeah. I think it would be better at
Yeah,
this point.
because like you're trying to build a Spider Verse without Spider-Man.
Yeah, No, I
Like,
know.
you know what I mean? And like even like with Madam Web, with all like the illusions of like, well, here's Peter Parker, the birth of Peter Parker. It's still like, come on, man.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know.
I know.
So
That's weird.
it's very weird. But like I agree with the Marvel decision to pull back, but I also hope like I just hope they figure it out because I like Marvel movies. I like superhero movies. I'm not tired of superhero movies.
Yeah.
I'm not tired of superhero TV shows. But at the same time, like I get it where you have to kind of like start saying like maybe that golden age is over and we need to scale back a tad.
Yeah.
You know. So
Maybe.
maybe. All right, anything you'd like to add to the proceedings then, sir?
Oh, good son.
Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email. That email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. And we are also on a number of podcasting networks. We are on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search and find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to check us out each and every week. Can't thank you enough for your support. And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.